Healthy societies are held together when you have stern but fair authority systems. However, the authorities can't be everywhere all of the time, and once in a blue moon, some sort of violence will erupt where it falls on the public to do the right thing and subdue any form of tyranny until the authorities can arrive. Even having that model alone means that many troublemakers won't even bother to cause any uproar because they know there'll be immediate consequences from the community. However, in our multicultural mass society, these days there is no community, and that means it's harder for people to stand up for what's right. This has been exacerbated by feminist leftist liberalism that's debased and exploited the noble virtue of standing up for the oppressed into a twisted narcissistic ideology in which certain demographics are always the victim no matter what. What this means is the average person who would otherwise step in and try and bring some order back into society no longer will because they know they'll be labelled the bad guy. That means that troublemakers completely run amok and society degrades, and this has been expressed perfectly recently in America. This begins with the case of Daniel Penny. You may have heard of this case. He was a US Army Marine veteran who was travelling on the US subway when a Jordan Neely came on threatening to kill people. So he subdued him and he ended up choking him out, and Jordan Neely died. Now, as you might imagine, the American media, especially the liberal media, went completely to town on this. They tried to make out Daniel Penny was some white supremacist and whites just go around indiscriminately killing black people. They also tried to make out that Jordan Neely was just an innocent Michael Jackson impersonator going about his day on the NYC subway. However, as details of the court case came out, it turned out Jordan Neely had an extensive criminal record, including 42 arrests for offences such as theft, larceny, jumping subway turnstiles, and assaults. Between 2019 and 2021, he was involved in 3 unprovoked assaults on women in the NYC subway. And after stating 3 times that he was going to kill somebody on the subway, Daniel Penny got him in a chokehold and he was eventually acquitted, which is a surprise. However, the damage is already done. What I mean is, it's sad that Jordan Neely passed away. It wasn't Daniel Penny's intention, but he was a very dangerous man, and Daniel Penny was trying to protect other innocent people. But however, what's happened to Daniel Penny means that good people no longer want to do anything anymore, and it leads to situations like this. Woman burned to death inside subway train. Now, there are videos of this online. I can't show you because YouTube will take this video down. However, they are as graphic as you'd imagine. And what's more shocking is nobody does anything. The man on your screen right now, obviously the one in what looks like a straitjacket, a 33-year-old Sebastian Zapata Cali, an illegal immigrant from Guatemala, has been named by police as the man accused of burning a woman alive simply because she was sleeping. And by the way, he was fanning the flames as he set her on fire. All of a sudden, it turns out we need men like Daniel Penny in the world. After all, he could have saved that woman's life. However, would he even bother getting involved again? He's almost lost his life once for trying to help out. Why would he bother again? Now, after this appalling crime, many people were stating online, I don't understand why nobody tried to save her or use a fire extinguisher to put the flames out. However, as you might imagine, there's a reason they don't have fire extinguishers on the subway anymore. It's because a certain group of, quote, youths decided to use them for other means.
You wanted it? You wanted it? You wanted it, bitch? You wanted it, bitch?
But don't worry, the left-wing governor of New York, a Kathy Hochul, recently told us she's going to make subways safer for millions of people. That was a day before the woman got set on fire. And only yesterday, a Kamel Hawkins was named as the man accused of shoving an innocent man onto the NYC subway in front of a train for no reason at all. Now, fortunately, the man who was pushed onto the tracks did survive despite suffering a broken skull amongst other injuries, and I dare say he's pretty heavily traumatized after that as well. But all of this comes back to the core point I'm trying to make here. When you have an ideology of, quote, tolerance and, quote, social justice, it means that you have lax immigration policies and you don't know who's coming over your borders. It means that you don't implement discipline with the young. It means that you don't promote the role of fathers to maintain that discipline in the home, and it starts to spill out into the culture and society at large. And when someone tries to do the right thing and contain that very danger, he too is demonized. The results are then obvious. Good people don't want to get involved anymore, and it leads to social breakdown. That's what we're witnessing across major cities in the Western world. The answer then is quite obvious. We need to start forming communities where we're actually safe, where we actually can defend ourselves. And if you go into the city, my advice would be to just try and stay out of it. There is no way you can win without being demonized. These are just my thoughts, however, much more on the Substack, which is linked down below if you want to check that out. Other than that, do let me know your thoughts down below. Do consider subscribing to the channel if you're new.